Hello and welcome to the Pedders Suspension and Breaks Outer East Football Netball Show, brought to you by Gameface. I'm Adam Miller, and joining me in the studio today, of course, is Steph and our newest panel member, Adam Brogden, who's been a part of our commentary team for this season. Adam, tell us a little bit about your journey with the Outer East so far and what brought you into our competition.
So at the start of the year, I sort of realised that I really wanted to pursue something in media, and footy is one of my main passions. So I went, you know what, I'm going to see if I can get a spot somewhere. I knew Aidan before this, actually, both from the same cricket club. So I went, you know what, how you doing, Aidan? Is there a spot available? And luckily enough for me, there was. So I've been enjoying my time since the start of the year, since round 2. And I'm stoked that you guys are here to have me.
Nah, fantastic. That's pretty much how it all happened. So absolutely fantastic. Steph, we've got another big show ahead of us as well, don't we?
We absolutely do. There is so much coming up in episode 15. But first and foremost, as we always do, we will bring you all the latest news from across our competition.
We've got game day interviews with Emerald's Luke Spaulding and Mackenzie Fox, as well as Gembrook Cockatoo's Aaron Firrito, Paddy Snoxell and Brodie Walker.
We reflect on last week's Match of the Round results, plus give you a Match of the Round preview for this weekend between Warburton, Millgrove and Seville.
Of course, our special in-studio guest this week will be Nelson Aldridge of Warburton Millgrove.
And of course, a huge thank you to Pedders Suspension and Breaks, partner of the Outer East Football Netball Show. Well, let's get straight into the news for this week. Of course, it is First Nations Round. So this weekend, we will celebrate and acknowledge all First Nations peoples on the beautiful lands on which we live and play. Several of our clubs will be wearing specially designed netball dresses and football guernseys this weekend, all designed by First Nations artists. If you'd like to learn more about the stories behind all the apparel designs, you can check out our socials because we'll be posting about them all week. Boys, we also need to talk about results from the weekend across the senior footy because there were some huge upsets and surprising results. Let's kick it off. Yay and Yarra Glen with the draw.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting one, that one. Yarra Glen have had a really good start to the season, although the last couple of weeks form has dipped a little bit. Yay have been a little bit better the last couple of weeks, but probably not the season that they would have liked to have had after just missing finals last year. So definitely a result that did surprise us, to say the least, Adam.
Yeah, sure did. I didn't really know about it, to be honest. We packed up all the van and packed up our commentary gear and realised, oh, hang on a minute, so Yay and Yarra Glen tie, which is pretty insane to think about. Obviously, Yarra Glen not having the best last few weeks, haven't had a win since round 8.
Yep.
So I thought that was quite interesting, which it happens to be that Josh Hawkins has also been injured.
Yep.
He's been out. Which certainly hasn't helped Yarra Glen have a target in the forward line at the moment, does it?
No, exactly right, Adam. It has been a little bit tricky for them the last couple of weeks. Still plenty of time, but the heat for spots in that final series in Division 1 is certainly heating up. Belgrave have managed to jump back in there. They've fallen back out because Yarra Glen getting that draw. Alexander have jumped into 4th on the ladder, so plenty to play out. The big one was Monbulk ending Wandon's undefeated streak in season 2025. I think we sort of thought after they got worry the week beforehand that maybe Wandon might be able to go all the way without a loss. But this one really shocked us, Adam, because the last time we called these two sides was back in round 3 and Monbulk went down by 100 points in that game.
Yeah, it was insane, to be honest. That was quite a long margin at the start of the year. Yep. So to see that that's the way the result went, it was really interesting.
Yep.
Good to note that Joel Garner wasn't playing.
Yep.
So I wonder whether maybe Wandon just got thrown out by chemistry or something like that. Just maybe something on the day wasn't right. But it is really interesting. And Monbulk seem to be one of those teams that are a bit up and down, not super consistent, but they can play some good football. So, really good of them to be beating Wandon. So I wonder what that sort of means for the rest of the year.
Well, you certainly spot on there. They beat Woori-Alec earlier in the season as well. Did go down to Gembrook Cockatoo not too long ago, so that certainly ties in with that consistency that you mentioned. You know, they're a team you almost wouldn't necessarily want to play against in finals because you know what they're capable of, but also, the ceiling, whilst it's quite high, I guess the floor still may be a little bit low. But as mentioned, like in Division 1, there's still a lot to play out.
Important to note as well, boys, Aaron Mullet's still kicked 5. He's on 88 now. So that is also very interesting. And then obviously, though, over the past couple of rounds, Joel Garner's sort of been right there with him, also kicking 5 or 6. So, very, very interesting. Last but certainly not least, Officer get the win over Woori-Alec.
Yeah, no, that was also a bit of a strange one, Steph. Again, Woori, after a pretty solid outing against Wandon, it has to be said. This was certainly a bit of a shock result. Just not one that we expected. Really good win for Officer. They just narrowly did lose to Hillsville just before the week off, but they did draw with them after leading the game for most of the day. So Officer, again, Adam, another team who haven't had the greatest year, but have proven that they've got some pretty good footy in them.
Most definitely. I think that they have something to prove, and I think that they have the ability to do that. It's just a matter of bringing that skill every week. And I think that while they're quite capable, it just seems to be a year that maybe they wish they could maybe achieve a little bit more. But certainly they must have played very well to take out Warrior, as we just said, have proven themselves to be quite a strong side in this division.
Well, I think their biggest weakness this year has been their connection inside forward 50. At least the 2 games that we've called them in when they played Emerald and Monbulk, they just couldn't seem to get any connection between mids and forwards. Mark Seedsman did kick 5 goals on the weekend. He is, of course, their main spearhead up there. So that must have been a bit of a talking point coming into that game, because Warrior have been a very strong side for a very long time. So there was clearly a lot of planning that went into it, and I think that must have been something that must have improved for them to be able to get the win. They did score 15 goals, so which is a really good outing for Officer in an area of the game that has, I think, plagued them a bit this season and hasn't been their strongest suit.
I will note as well, when we did have that game, Officer and Emerald, Mark Seedsman did say in his interview that he thinks that their best footy can go up against all those top sides, but what he felt was there was quite a difference between their best day out and maybe their worst day out, and obviously they've had a great day out on the weekend.
No, exactly
and knocked off Worry. So
consistency is so important for everyone, Steph. I think it doesn't. I think at the end of the day, it shows it doesn't matter how well you can play. You've got to be able to do it week in, week out. But Officer have proven what they can do, but for the back end of the season, at least in terms of trying to avoid relegation, they've just got to keep trying to produce that sort of football.
Absolutely.
Well, in our next bit of news, we'd like to wish congratulations to Ava Upton, a homegrown star in the Outer East competition, who's been awarded the VNL Reserves MVP award. Ava, who was on the show recently, was announced as the MVP, posted the VNL Reserves Grand Final. Well done, Ava. We're so proud of you.
Absolutely. Well done, Ava. We'd also like to congratulate an OEFN umpire and Belgrave trainer, Sky Spenceley, who has accepted a role with Hawthorn's AFLW side as a sports trainer. So Sky heard about this opportunity at the recent trainer seminar that was run at Hawthorn Footy Club by our exclusive sports medical supplier, Victor Sports. So thank you so much to Victor. And with her experience in our competition, plus the fact that she's currently studying at the Richmond Institute with Swinburne University, she was a great candidate. They were super happy. They've got her on board. We're so excited. So well done, Sky. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
In umpiring news, there are a Women and Girls Bring a Friend Experience event happening on Wednesday the 16th of July at Sweeney Reserve in Narre Warren for OEFN and AFLSE umpires. Work on outdoor skills, enjoy lunch with peers, and make friendship bracelets and more. You can register using the QR code to attend.
Well, over now to our Yarra Valley Water Juniors Corner for an update on our junior competitions. We wanted to congratulate this week some of our 15 and under netballers who have been selected to trial for Netball Victoria Pathway Program. So this happened off the back of the Netball Victoria Association Championships. These girls were talent identified. So Addie, Ayla, Brodie, Lily, Macy and Zara have been talent identified and will try for the 2026 Netball Victoria Talent Academy and state programs. So that will happen in November, and we wish those girls all the very best of luck, and we're very proud of you for being invited to those trials. Time now for our match of the round preview, but as always, before we get into this week's matchup, we like to reflect on our tips from last week. So Gembrook, Cockatoo and Emerald. I don't even remember what we tipped.
I can tell you, Steph, you tipped Emerald for footy, Emerald for netball. I tipped Gembrook for footy, Emerald for netball.
Yep.
The 2 boys also tipped Gembrook for footy, so I was the only one who tipped... no, they tipped Emerald for the footy, sorry. I was the only one who got Gembrook, so I'll take that one.
There you go. That's
good
a win
for myself.
That's a win. All right, give me a wrap-up. Start off with the netball.
Yeah, a bit one-sided. Emerald are a really strong team. I think... they're definitely the 3rd seed behind Wandon and Mount Evelyn. They're going to play Wandon this week as well. So I spoke a little bit to the captain, Matt Fox, as we mentioned earlier in the show about that game coming up. But I thought Gembrook fought it out pretty well in the second half, but they probably just let the margin get away from them a bit too early in the game. And, as I say, footy or netball, you never want to be chasing tails. So... really good performances, just by the usual suspects. Mac Fox was fantastic. Stacey Woodrow didn't play the last quarter, but I think they were just resting her. She was really good in goals. Krista Tomlinson, Alice Padgett, Brodie Smith as well in defence. Not too much to take away. It was just a good, strong performance by a good side. Gained some much needed percentage. There's been a few sort of movements on that ladder. Monbulk a 4th, Emerald a 3rd. Emerald were momentarily 2nd because that game took place before the Monbulk-Wandon game.
Yes.
So had Monbulk have won, they could have potentially sat in 2nd on the ladder. Wandon did win that game though, so they go back into 2nd. But there is an opportunity for Emerald this week to jump into 2nd if they can beat Wandon, who they only lost 2 by 4 goals the last time they played. So that should be interesting. Yep.
This weekend will be very interesting.
No, definitely.
All right, and the footy seemed like it was a pretty close one. Good game?
It was a pretty close one. Adam, do you want to start us off?
It was a very good contest. It was a fierce contest.
It was,
too.
yeah.
You could tell coming into it, obviously that local rivalry playing an element there. And absolutely those two teams just really go hard at the footy. It was really interesting to see Gembrook Cockatoo come away with the win.
Yep.
I really thought Emerald were going to come away with the win there, but it was really well played by Gembrook Cockatoo. Really well moved through their midfield and their back line, notably without Robin Nahas.
Yeah, exactly right.
And I just thought it was really well done, very well played by both sides. Gembrook Cockatoo got the win.
No, they did. Adam, often they talk about the third quarter's a premiership quarter. That's really where they won the game. There was just a real blitz just towards the last couple of minutes where they scored 3 quick goals, all out of centre clearance, and that was really probably the difference in the game. It really put the margin to something that was just probably a bit beyond Emerald, and Emerald certainly fought hard in that last quarter. I thought Jack McGough was really quite influential, but he just couldn't quite impact the scoreboard the way he would have liked to. Probably didn't have shots from the easiest spots on the ground, but I think a couple of players I really like, Paddy Snoxell in the ruck, I thought was really good. Stephen Kapanke, he's a big, solid boy. He's really hard to match up on one-on-one, but I thought Paddy did a really good job. And, of course, Josh Chilly, the skipper, we were talking about him all day. He was probably the best player in the ground.
Absolutely.
He was absolutely brilliant.
He was killing it. It looked like, I've seen this multiple times on Saturday, it looked like there was about 4 of him out there. He was doing everything. It was really impressive to see. I just want to give a shout out to Will Gazzard. Seemed to be in the wars all day. Did everything he could to get his team back in the game. Really took all the body contact, did really well. Just unfortunately, still couldn't come away with the win.
No, that's it. It got really close, didn't it? I think we thought it was wrapped up with about 10 minutes to go, but the Bombers certainly closed the margin, but I think they just left it a little bit too late in the end.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And that game ended up having very big ramifications with the Officer Wurry result. Emerald do now go to the bottom of the ladder. We probably weren't expecting that at the start of the day, but it certainly became quite an important game. So, very interesting match of the round in the footy for sure.
Well, one of our future match of the rounds will be Emerald and Officer a bit later in the year, so that could also be a very massive game. All right, well, let's now take a look at this week's match of the round, which is Warburton Millgrove versus Seville.
This week, it's a top-of-the-table clash in the netball, and second versus third in footy. Lately, anytime these two play each other, it's always close. It's always anyone's game. It's always down to the wire. No matter what way it goes this weekend, these are 2 matches you don't want to miss. Burras versus the Blues. It's the Rochford match of the round.
Yep, well, we'll start off with the footy first of all. Steph, of course, the last time these two sides played, we did call that game. That was round 4 of this year. Seville won that game in a tight one, 11-8-74, defeated Warburton Millgrove at 9-12-66. Coming into it this time around, Warburton Millgrove are second on the ladder with an 8-2 record. They've had 2 byes, so they accumulate points off the byes, do all teams. Seville are third with a 9-2 record, so technically a better win-loss record, but only the 1 bye. The percentage better with Warburton Millgrove, 260 compared to Seville's 172. The midfield matchup I'm looking forward to, Bailey scored 10 of Seville. He's averaging 23 disposals this season, including 11 contested, 4 clearances and 8 ground ball gets. Head-to-head with Tom Baker's having a terrific season, 31 disposals, including 5 clearances, 10 of those contested and 10 score involvements. So that's going to be the big midfield matchup. Daniel Icone, he usually has a lot of the head-to-head matchups, a lot of the one-on-ones, and he'll probably go head-to-head with Bailey Humphrey. He's kicked 38 goals this season. And then Josh Neal, who's just come into the Seville side for the last couple of games this season. He transferred across from Mooralbark. He's already averaging 3.5 goals a game. He's kicked 14 goals in 4 games. I think Sean Enderweezer of Warby probably has the job on him. So a couple of big matchups in a pretty big game. And what's become a little bit of a mini rivalry, I reckon, Steph, from last year. They played in that prelim and they played in some tight ones across last year and a tight one earlier this year. So I think there's a bit of feeling between these two, and I think it should be an interesting game for sure.
I absolutely think there's a mini rivalry that's been building the past couple of seasons. Every time they've matched up, it's been super close. It's been a toss of the coin about what way it's going to go, and it always feels like there's a lot of feeling out on that ground. So
definitely. Very
exciting. All right, let's go over to the netball.
Yeah, well, I think, again, that bit of feeling, it definitely stems across into the netball as well. Obviously, the footy, they played in the prelim last year. The netball, they played in the grand final last year, and what a game that was.
Unbelievable.
But firstly, let's talk about the game that did happen earlier this year, the last time the two sides played, which was also round 4. Seville won that game 51-46, so the Blues did get their revenge after losing by 1 goal in extra time in that grand final. Pretty much, it wasn't after the side, but it was very close too. Coming into it this time around, Seville, they're undefeated. They haven't lost a game there. I think across Division 1 footy netball and Premier Division footy netball, the only team that still stays undefeated, of course, women's footy, Mount Evelyn and Warby Wesburn are still undefeated. But they are 11-0. Warby are currently second on the ladder with a 9-1 record, so it's first v second. Should be a really interesting game. A couple of the big matchups. Ali Langdon, she probably goes head-to-head with Taylor Werner, who's got 341 goals this season. Louisa Suleimani probably goes head-to-head with Bianca Daniels, who's Warby's leading goal scorer with 274 goals this year. Both mid-courts with plenty of depth. Again, probably looking at Cleo Mini of Seville. She's a star player and probably goes head-to-head with Selena Fodia, brings plenty of experience. Also was a former Seville player, Selena Fodia, as well. So so really interesting matchup, I think, in the netball too.
Yeah, absolutely. This one, definitely both games will be incredible. Really looking forward to it. All right. This is the part where we do our tips, and I think this is probably one of the harder ones.
Definitely.
I struggled earlier in the year. I think I'm going to struggle again now, but let's start with the footy. Who are you going to go with?
I think on the home deck, I'm going to go Warby to get one back on the Blues this time around.
All right, Adam?
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I think Warby have played really well in the last few weeks, and I just think they're going to get the edge over Seville.
Yep.
I agree with both of you. I think Warby will want one back, and it is their home deck, so I'm going to go with Warby as well. Netball.
I'm going to go the other way. I think Seville will stay undefeated. I think this is certainly one of the games where that undefeated run will be a threat against a very strong Warby Millgrove side, but I really think Seville have fed off that grand final loss last year, and they're just playing on another level this season, so I think they're going to keep it that way.
Give me Warby for both. I reckon it's the upset. I reckon it's the upset. I think that maybe Seville's undefeated streak might come to an end this week.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, I'm really not sure with the netball. Do you know what? I'm going to back Seville in. I am going to back Seville in to stay undefeated. However, like most of the games between these two, I don't think it's going to be easy by any stretch. But I'm really looking forward to both. Really excited. So
also for this week, all those who are subscribed to the local footy hub, you will get exclusive access to this game, which will be between Woorolloc and Hillsville.
This week's filmed women's football matches are Warburton Wesburn versus Seville and Emerald versus Wandon.
And before we move on, let's take a look at our community predictions. We'd love to know what you guys think. So first and foremost, match of the round footy between Warburton, Millgrove and Seville.
Secondly, the netball match of the round between Warburton, Millgrove and Seville.
The local footy hub match between Woorolloc and Hillsville.
The first women's filmed match, Warburton Wesburn versus Seville.
And the second women's film match between Emerald and Wandon.
Since 1950, Pedders have understood that every customer's journey is different, but our solution remains the same, to get you where you want to go as safely as possible. We believe it's not just the destination that matters, but also the journey, and we are committed to creating better journeys for everyone.
Well, lucky for you guys, we have guests galore this week. First and foremost, it was an interview with Emerald's Luke Spaulding.
We're down here on the match and around down here at Gembrook for Gembrook, Cockatoo and Emerald. I'm joined by Emerald star Luke Spaulding. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very good, thanks guys. Good day for footy. Pulled up well out there, so haven't been to Gembrook in a long while, since about 2018-19. So yeah, good to come back out here and have a hit on their deck.
Yeah, it's especially sunny. Sunny out there, which is really good to see. You don't normally get it out on these type of days. I was talking to you before. I was saying I got told it was going to be sunny, but I'll see it when I believe it. You never know with Melbourne.
I know, it's very windy out there. I noticed there's a scoring end, so hopefully we can take that window of opportunity when we had that end. So we'll see how we go, and hopefully we can adapt quickly and get it right out there today. So
let's talk about you. So obviously came across from Yarra Junction. What were some of the aspects of you coming across, and how have you found it so far?
So it's a Premier Division footy, like playing on some absolute monsters. A bit slow to get at the gates this year, just adapting to the new opponents and new sides, and just fitting in, playing a pure defensive role. Been challenging at times, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity of learning and growing still. Emerald's a very young club, so they give me a lot of energy, a lot of numbers on the track, so that's good to take in and just keep striving forward and keep learning and adapting. So it's been good.
Obviously, it's been an up and down season. How have you found the season as a whole? Like, you can always pick up some highlights in the season. What are some of the highlights that you've noticed?
Yeah, it's been bittersweet. So last time we versus Gembrook, we won on Anzac Day clash.
2 points, was it?
A goal after the siren.
Yep.
So, from my footy career, that's the best home and away win I've been a part of.
Have you ever been a part of a goal after the siren for?
I've actually hit the post in juniors, which a draw. But other than that, I didn't feel anything like it. It was absolutely unbelievable. So that's what happened last time. So bittersweet this year. Great. As I said, great youth at the club, very inviting clubs. But on the scoreboard, it can be a bit rough. But it's just learning and just keep taking things week by week. So it's good.
Obviously, it'd be rude not to ask, but where were you? Obviously, it's gone a bit viral. Where were you on the ground for David Johnson's goal?
So I was sitting at centre-half back.
Yeah.
Look at him smirking at me in the back. I was at centre-half back, and the whole Hills of the forward line and us backmen, we all looked at each other and said, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I told him this, if you didn't get it, it's the silliest thing you'd ever seen in your life, but you got it. It's like a wheelchair scissor kick sort of setup. Only he would do that. No one else would think of that. So, it was just ridiculous. But look, it's created a very viral moment. It's got our club out there. It's got our league out there. So, it was good. Good moment for Scave. So.
What type of stuff gets done out there today? What are some of the key aspects that you've really focused in on for this week to come home with a win?
So it's a big ground, big spread. So we just want to know when to go up, when to switch, be cleaner with it, be a bit more consistent. We play well in patches, but we want to make sure we're more consistent moving the ball forward. As we said, windy. So see how we go there. Just moving the ball well and just less fumbly, but see how we go because both teams are desperate for a win. Very slightly undermanned both sides today, so a lot of young kids out there having a crack. So, see how we go.
No worries. Well, thank you for your time. Best of luck out there.
Appreciate it, mate. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
This week we talked to Aaron Firrito and Brodie Walker of Gembrook Cockatoo.
All right, guys, we're down here at the match of the round between Gembrook Cockatoo and Emerald, and we're joined by two Gembrook Cockatoo players. We've got Aaron Firrito and we've got Brodie Walker. How are you, boys?
Not too bad. Thanks, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, been a bit of a tough year coming into it, but the last time you guys played was a blockbuster and it was one after the siren in the end. How did you guys reflect on that game afterwards? Obviously heartbreaking, but...
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. Like every match between us two is always competitive and we always know what we're in for. It doesn't matter if one of us is flying, one of us is not doing well, it's always a close game.
Yep.
So we just mentally prepare for that and we know it's going to be physical out there, but we're going to try our best to get it done today.
Go on what Aaron said. It's always tight between these two teams. We didn't spend too much time on it during the week about the goal after the siren. Moved past that in footy. So be good to bounce back today. It's good weather out there. So hopefully we bounce back.
What's it like, obviously, playing with some ex-AFL players too? You got Robbie Nahas and it's all Marley Williams in there too. How they fitted the team this season?
They fit in really well. And it's really good for a lot of our younger players coming in because, they get that experience and they've taught everyone a heap of lessons. So it's good just having that professionalism around the club. Mm-hmm. And, we're looking forward to the rest of the year with them.
Yeah, no, they've been good to have, especially having Spud as well, having his knowledge and having all three of them down has been really good. Help the juniors, help the 19s as well coming up. And it's actually helped the community, people coming to the games a bit more. I think last year was a bit lackluster, so no, that actually helped a lot.
Speaking of Spud, obviously, what are some of the things he's focused on this week? Coming into this game, so we already briefly touched on the game. What are some of the things that you've gone on to try and take home the win today?
Yeah, well, we're looking to bounce back. Obviously, last week wasn't a good performance by any means, but this week we're focusing on being physical, getting our mental side of the game in, so staying focused for the whole 4 quarters instead of having those mid-quarter laps.
Yep.
So, we're just trying to really focus on doing the fundamentals well and, just trying to stick together.
Yeah, pretty much just going back to basics. Like last week, very tough game. I think the week before when we played Monbulk, we were a tough physical team and, we were actually just doing everything team-wise. Last week fell away a little bit, so we just, been told to go back to basics a little bit.
Do you reckon was there a reason why were you just off from the start, do you think, or what?
Yeah, I think so. I think going into the game, I'm not sure what really happened between us mentally because I think going in we were actually all right, but to their credit, they played their ground really well. They played really well as a team, and I think once they got that couple rolls going, couple goals in a row going, that it kind of was hard to come back from there. I think, just challenged us mentally and physically last week.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think our our heads weren't in it properly. Yeah. So from the start, they got the jump on us, and it just fell away really quickly from there. So.
And you mentioned helping with the Nahas and Williams come down and help the community. What has it been like? Obviously, the community coming down, but more numbers coming around. How does it feel? It's obviously packed out there already. How does it feel getting so many numbers down, and especially Ladies' Day today as well? So even more numbers today.
Yeah, exactly. It's really good. Like having a big crowd, especially at your home deck, always helps. Just seeing everyone stick together as well after games and stuff. We always have all of their supporters still there supporting us even after the game. So it's just good to have the community around us, and we're really keen to give back to them.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to have them down here, especially after last week. Could easily just, not want to come to the game, but it's a tight community, and, they always want to support us, and it's good to have a big crowd. It's good coming to the footy and you actually, have people there supporting you. So, it's been good.
Well, thank you for your time, boys, and best of luck out there today.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, mate.
Had a chat with Emerald's A-grade captain Mackenzie Fox after their round 12 win over Gembrook Cockatoo.
Well, joined by Mac Fox, Emerald's A-grade captain, after a pretty dominant display against traditional rivals Gembrook Cockatoo. Mac, you must be really happy with another great performance.
Yeah, it was a great game, but it was tough the whole game, but it was nice. It didn't feel like there was a massive gap in between the scores, so it was really good.
Yep. Matt, coming into this season, of course, you've had a lot more responsibility in that goal circle with Kayla Lalanting coming out of the side. How have you liked taking on that responsibility and also taking on the captaincy?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's good. We've had a few different goalers come in, so it's nice to work around. There's always a different task each game, so it's been really good. Definitely missing Kayla though, but I like having that little bit more responsibility in the game, so it's been really good.
What were some of the tactics spoken about coming into today's game?
We practiced a lot on driving to the ball in defence, so setting up that square and everything like that, and then looking at the swings along the court and stuff like that, and just bringing it down, doing that first option, and slowing it down, because when we stepped on, there was a lot of stepping. So, yeah.
Played goals mostly today, but we have noticed you've spent a bit more time in the mid-court this season. What's brought that about?
One of our wing attacks haven't been playing. She goes on holidays. So, I've been put out to wing attack, and I do enjoy it because it's a bit different, a little bit less pressure because I don't have to shoot any goals. But, it's been good.
Yep. Got a bit of a gap at the moment on Monbulk. They do take on Wands today. Must have been really happy getting that bit of a percentage boost.
Yeah, definitely, because Monbulk and us were really close in the game. It was only 1 point. Yeah, so it was super close. So it'll be nice to get that percentage up a little bit more.
Yep. Taking on Wandon next week. You only lost them by a couple of goals last time. Yeah. What are some of the lessons you've taken from that performance that might help you get the win next week?
I think we drop a bit in our third quarter. I don't think, in our first quarter, we didn't start off as strong, and we started to build, but we got up and then we'll kind of lose it a little bit. So just taking control of the game, possession play would be really good for going into Wandon's game.
Yep. Any players out of that Wandon side that you're putting a bit of attention into next week?
All of them. No, they're all really good players. So,
All right, Mac, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck for next week and the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Also had a chat with Gembrook Cockatoo's Ruckman Paddy Snoxell after their win over Emerald in round 12.
Well, I'm joined by Paddy Snoxell of Gembrook Cockatoo after a really crucial win over the Bombers in round 12. And Paddy must be really relieved to get that win and get a bit of breathing room from the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, it was a good win, especially after last week, getting pumped by Mount Evelyn. So it was good to bounce back, and the boys played well. Could have finished off a bit better, but a win's a win.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think were some of the things that you improved upon this week after a bit of a disappointing result last week?
Just pressure, really. We came to play, and everyone played their role, and it was good.
Yep. What were some of the messages coming into today's game?
Pretty much going back to our identity. We're a pressure team, and we want to keep playing that way, and just keep rolling on through the season.
Yep. Yeah. You had a really big one-on-one matchup today against Stephen Kapanki, mate. What was some of your thinking, and how did you go about that contest coming into it?
He's a good ruckman. He's a big fella, so I just have to make sure that I'm using my leap and trying not to engage too much because he's a big boy. So just keep running and run all day.
Was there any nerves that you thought they might get you towards the end, or were you boys pretty composed that you had the game won?
There was probably a few nerves. We've kind of been in that situation before, and we've dropped a few games this year, in that style. So, it was good to hold on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Robbie Naha should be coming back in the next couple of weeks. I imagine you must be pretty happy to have him back for the back end of the season.
Yeah, Robbie's been really good.
Yep.
We have missed him, but we have won a couple without him, so he'll be a good piece coming back in.
Yep. What's the aim for the end of season 2025?
just keep winning, really. Yeah, like, you know, we'd like to get a bit of a roll on. I think it's been a while since we've won 2 in a row, so hopefully we can just keep it going. Yeah.
Paddy, thank you very much for joining us, mate. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers.
And last but certainly not least, our in-studio guest this week is Nelson Aldridge from Warburton Millgrove.
Nelson, thank you for joining us in the studio, mate. We really appreciate having you in, of course. Firstly, we wanted to ask, well, not so much ask, but you've got to be pretty happy with how Warby are going at the moment, second on the ladder. Did you see that transpiring?
Yeah, no, very, very, very happy. It's been a really good start to the season. Probably expected to come out and compete the way we have, to be completely honest. Obviously, last year we finished pretty high. And knowing that Seville were going to be very good again, Pakenham were coming down, we knew they'd be a challenge. And then obviously other teams get better. That's just the natural thing that happens. So to be where we are at the moment is really good. Dropped a couple of games, lost to a couple of really good sides. And we're getting a couple of players back from injury, so starting to load up and cruise into the second half of the year and hopefully get a few more wins on the board.
Yep. We also want to say congratulations because you are now a new dad. How have you found the first month of being a parent?
Yeah, really good. Touch wood so far. He sleeps really well through the night, which has helped for preparation. Yep. My partner Alex is doing an amazing job as well, but he's come to every game so far. So we're getting him, getting him used to that lifestyle, and he's pretty popular at the games. Everyone loves him, but it's really nice. It's a nice experience. Yeah.
When are you going to get him into a Warburton Millgrove jumper?
He's got a couple.
He's got a couple already. Fantastic.
He's got a couple of things. Didn't have much of a choice.
Of course. It's First Nations Round, of course, this weekend. Can you tell us a bit about the importance of this round to you personally?
Yeah, sure. I mean, being Indigenous, it's always having being proud of my Aboriginality. My family's always had a really strong connection to our culture. Two things I love is my culture and then obviously football, and for those two things to intertwine, it's really special. It's really special to acknowledge the past players and the people who've come beforehand to pave the way to where we've got the game to where it is today. But also really important in the spirit of reconciliation to share the culture and bring non-Indigenous people and Indigenous people together. And I always think football and sport in general is a really good way to do that. So I think these days are really special. It's nice for everyone to get along and share the thing we all love, which is the game of football. And netball.
And netball, yes, of course. Can you tell us about some of the plans you have for your home game this weekend? Obviously, you'll have your specifically designed jumpers from Cindy Mills, and we believe there'll be a pre-match ceremony as well.
Yes, there will be. We've had an amazing team do some work in the background. Obviously taking a little bit of a step back with the obvious thing of being a father. But yes, Cindy Mills, proud of our dribble and her artwork. Again, we love wearing that. Such a special design. We'll continue to wear it for years to come. We've got Professor John Robert Evans, who is the Pro Vice Chancellor in Indigenous Engagement at Swinburne University. He will be doing a little talk in the rooms, and he will be doing the acknowledgement of country. It's very hard to get elders from traditional owner groups this time of year in NAIDOC week. So sometimes, you get what you can get, and we're so honoured to have him. He was also on the board of Essendon for a while. So he'll be really good, and we've got a didgeridoo player, Dozer Atkinson, who I've never seen him, I've never heard him, but I can't wait. He's apparently amazing. So that's what we're doing, and of course we have a sponsors lunch on the day. We really ramped the day up.
Yep, fantastic. You're a cultural recovery coordinator with the Yarra Rangers Council. Can you tell us a bit about that role and what it entails?
Yeah, so I've been at Yarra Rangers Council in the Indigenous Development team since 2019. Started as an Indigenous Development trainee and did certificates and worked my way through. In the Indigenous Development team, where there's 4 or 5 of us, we do a lot. Anything Indigenous, like we do. So cultural awareness training sessions, cultural heritage assessments, youth work, school work, improving health and well-being of the Indigenous community, working with traditional owner groups, literally anything Indigenous, you name it, we do. Huge Reconciliation Week events we've had people like Adam Goods and Daniel Rioli, Courtney Ugle. So time is always very busy with that. And then, of course, I've got my PD, my own role, which is the Cultural Recovery Coordinator, which is working with emergency management services and recovery agencies all across Victoria, and in the last 12 months nationally. I've been sent to Brisbane to do work, New South Wales, I've got to go to Perth in August. And that all come about through some storms on the Dandenong Ranges a few years ago, and governments and emergency services have been wanting to bring Indigenous knowledge back into recovery, trauma, relief, healing. And that's how I landed in that. And so I've been a part of some amazing work, you know. Pretty much any time there's an emergency, I'm on call. Yeah. So I always say to my partner that, you know, I could be off. But no, it's really rewarding, and it's changing the way we do things in that area going forward. And yeah, I really enjoy it.
Yep. Of course, our Match of the Round partner or has been for a long time, is Yarra Valley FM, and you do host a show with the Yarra Valley FM. Can you tell us a bit about that show?
Yeah, I actually went into Yarra Valley FM just as a guest once, and they liked me and said, would you like to do a show?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I can do a show. So it's called Community Nulu, which is a Woiwurrung word and a Tanarong word meaning voices, so community voices. And I bring in people, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, to talk about Indigenous culture and how it's impacted their life. And I've been doing that for a couple of years now. So it's live on Yarra Valley FM, but then the recording's played on 3MDR the next week. So it's been really cool to work with both those stations, and again, a really rewarding experience.
Yep. As we know, you guys made the grand final last season, but unfortunately fell short. There's only one step further you can take. What's the feeling in the group at this point in the season?
Yeah, level-headed.
Level-headed, yep.
I guess it's, obviously, there is only one step forward, but I guess if you look at our journey over the last 3 or 4 seasons, it was a semi-final loss, a prelim loss, and grand final loss. So there is that one more step to take, but you can't take anything for granted. I mean, you look at teams in the past, sorry for the Gembrook listeners, but, 15 odd years ago, they lost 3 senior grannies in a row. Nothing's ever guaranteed, and the boys know that. And we've had a couple of mid-season, especially the last couple of weeks of buys, etc. A couple of mid-season get-togethers and talking about expectations going forward of what it actually takes to win a flag. It's not just rocking up on the day and playing good footy all the time. It's the little things behind the camera, behind the scenes. Sorry, making sure your body's right, maybe giving up the drink a little bit from here on out. These little things can all play a part. So it's definitely in the back of the mind, but it is, being pushed to the back of the mind to just focus 1 week at a time.
Yep. Looking ahead to this weekend's game against Seville, who are one of the other major contenders, you just went down to them last time. What are some of the learnings from that game that you think might help you this Saturday?
It was probably the flattest we've started all season. And it felt that way before the game. And it was a credit to Seville. They played some really good footy that day. Every game we play them seems to be a brilliant game of football. And we get along really well with them. They're a really good side. So we'll just hopefully rock up with the right mentality. And we know that from the first bounce, it's going to be a very contested game of football. And we'll just, again, I know it's very cliche, probably sounds very boring, but we'll take it minute by minute, play by play. And hopefully at the end of the game we've kicked more goals than they have.
Yep. Nelson, thank you so much for joining us in the studio, and good luck for this Saturday and the rest of the season.
Appreciate it.
Well, that pretty much wraps up all there is to talk about on the Pedders Suspension and Breaks Outer East Football Netball show this week. Remember, if there's anything you'd like to see in the show, make sure you leave a comment down below. Steph, Adam, thank you both for joining me in the studio again today.
No worries at all.
Thank you very much, Aidan.
For all the viewers out there, don't forget to get your game face on.